Welcome to another edition of Bases and Balls with my good friend, Guardians broadcaster Jim Rosenhaus with us on WACare. And we start a little West Coast trip. We've got Seattle and San Francisco coming up, and they finished off the right way against the Cincinnati Reds on Wednesday afternoon. And boy, the bats were humming there on Wednesday afternoon. And one of the guys that was humming Wednesday was Lane Thomas. He had 3 hits, including that opposite field 3-run shot. And Rosie, that's where I wanted to start this morning. How important is Lane Thomas offensively, defensively for this baseball team?
Ray, not to put too much pressure on Lane, but the the team was 4-12 against lefties at one point in time during that series against the Reds, and they saw three left-handers. And a big reason why, after a really good season a year ago, record-wise against left-handed pitching, um, Lane Thomas has been hurt a lot of the year, and he's a big key as a right-handed bat, especially against left-handed pitching. So his return has been huge, and he seems different this time around. Got off to that slow start coming out of spring training, and in talking to him now, it sounds like that plantar fasciitis was bothering him way longer than you might think of just an IL stint. So it feels so much better now. He's past the wrist issue, and I think we saw the results on Wednesday. But you add him to that lineup on a regular basis. David Fry's coming back, and he'll start to hit too as he gets deeper into this thing. Those are two right-handed bats that they missed badly against the left-handed pitching. So I think it makes a huge difference having Thomas back. And I think we saw the results yesterday.
I think Gonel Martinez has worked out okay in center. He's such a good athlete. You want to try to find a way to get him into the lineup, but I think Lane also adds defensively to him. And a nice sliding catch there on Wednesday afternoon. He brings a lot of glove to the defensive outfield as well.
How about that distance he got on the slide too? That was impressive. That's like when you're a kid in the backyard and you wet the grass down a little bit to get better sliding action. I think he had that going on Wednesday. But yeah, he's a true outfielder, and it'll be interesting because um, I think they'll play Martinez in center and Thomas in right when they're both in the outfield. We'll see how it plays out, but I think they might be more comfortable with Martinez in center just because he's played there more, and Thomas has played a lot of right in his career, so he's comfortable there too. So we'll see, but it'd be nice having them both out there.
Jonathan Rodriguez got called up earlier this week. John Kenzie Noel goes to Columbus, I imagine, to get him regular at bats to try to get him going. But educate us a little bit on Rodriguez. I saw some statistics. He was hitting very well at Columbus. Talk about this young man.
He was. Ray's been a masher at Columbus the last couple of years. He was the International League MVP a year ago. So back-to-back seasons of 29 home runs in the minor leagues. So, you always hesitate to say, well, he's got nothing left to prove at AAA. But obviously he was down there to work on some things and try and get better so that when he gets here, he can contribute. Sometimes it can be that last step, a big jump for a hitter. But there's some pop in that bat, and I think that's what they're intrigued by. So he had a nice opportunity here getting called up, and then they faced four straight lefties, which I don't know if John Kenzie Noel was thinking, what in the world? He's waiting all this time to face lefties, and they'd never see him. And then they do four in a row, and he gets sent down, and Rodriguez is called up. But good for Rodriguez. Good game on Wednesday and a decent series. So we'll see. I haven't seen too far ahead on pitching and what they're going to face. But when there's lefties, it looks like he's going to play.
You mentioned pitching. There's been some good and some maybe concerning news this week in regards to pitching. And I thought with the good, Luis Ortiz again, another nice outing. Ciccone, I thought was terrific the other day, and he's starting to come on. And then we got the setback with Shane Bieber a little bit. So talk about those three guys.
Well, you know what, Ray? The rotation as a whole is looking really good, and obviously Ortiz and Ciccone are a big part of that. They're the newest, keys to that rotation, and I think they've both been solid. And for Ciccone, we hadn't seen him much in spring training because of an injury, so it's been fun to watch him settle in and really perform well. It is a setback for Bieber, but it's not unexpected. And talking with him earlier this week, he said every pitcher he's talked to has had Tommy John, and he has some good buddies in the game, like Matthew Boyd from a year ago. He had a setback. It's almost, when you hear setback, you think, oh, but it's almost just like a little valley in that roller coaster of the comeback. It's never just a straight line up when you come back from Tommy John surgery. And Shane was kidding. He was hoping to be the first to be the one who didn't have a setback, but it didn't happen. But it sounds like he's going to get back to throwing maybe this weekend. So that'll be good. And then we'll see, because he's built up and was in a really good place. So it probably won't take him real long to get back to where he was and then continue from there.
All right, let's talk about this weekend in Seattle. The good news, no rainouts, right? We've got a retractable roof there. And then into San Francisco, which many people say is one of the best ballparks in Major League Baseball, and an improved Giants baseball team. So talk about this trip to Seattle and San Francisco.
Yeah, this may be, I don't know if we could top it ballpark wise. If you're a fan and you're ever looking, if this happens again down the road, or anything like that, if you're looking for parks that you haven't seen that are unique and fun and just beautiful ballparks, Seattle and San Francisco I would recommend them highly, top of the list. All right, team wise, the Mariners they're kind of in the same boat as the Guardians, where they've been struggling to score runs lately, and it's impacted their record. They were in first place for a while out west, and now they've slipped behind the Astros into second place. And primarily, they're just not scoring runs the way they were earlier this season. The Giants are one of the big surprises this year. They're neck and neck with the Dodgers at times in first place out in the NL West. So that's going to be a challenge. They pitch extremely well. That could be a really low scoring series. But, it's funny that the Guardians just got through a stretch where they saw the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Astros, all first place teams. So you think, all right, maybe they can take a breath now. But no, no, they can't. These teams will be ready to go. And it's never easy. To try and put together good win streaks, but they'll try and do that out here on the road.
All right, Rosie. Well, listen, we'll look forward to the calls all weekend in Seattle, tonight, tomorrow night, and then, of course, Sunday afternoon as well. Thank you for joining us from the Emerald City, and we'll do it again next week, my friend. Thanks again.
Outstanding. Thanks, Ray.